All right.
Good morning, everyone. Cool FM land. This is John and Jared on the field. Our recap show from last night's games. We're going to talk about some scores in the area with Cochise County's teams, and then we'll go into speaking to some people that have joined us on the show this morning.
Man, we're blessed today.
Coach Thomas.
Coach Thomas.
And Michael Lujan, one of our running backs. One of the two in the stable, we'll say, in the backfield this year. Junior running back, so we'll hit him up for some questions here and talk about leading into a huge week. It's always a huge week when we have homecoming in Sierra Vista, so we'll have to talk about, preparation for that and going into our next opponent, which is the Desert View Jaguars. I always mess that up. I don't want to say Cougars. I don't know. I know it's a cat somewhere. So let's talk about the game we covered last night for Cool FM.
Yeah, Tombstone. Holy smokes.
Yellow Jackets look pretty good. The stat man at the game said they only had 4 yards total on offense, Catalina.
Tombstone held them to 4 yards, which I believed it because they were stuffing that run. Yeah. That defensive line looked so tough. It reminded me of your guys' defensive line, honestly.
Yeah, your guys' linebackers were flying around too.
The defensive line stopped all the linemen from making any kind of movement, and those linebackers were shooting the gaps, and it looked great, I'll tell you that. For 2A football, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and they traveled well as far as Tombstone. The
fans were great travelers last night. So hats off to those folks.
It was at least we had probably 100 people in the stands, and on the other side there might have been 30 people on the other side. So it is an off week for everybody. So everybody's showing.
It's an off season for Catalina too. They're still winless now. So
yeah,
they're struggling. I mean, it's just like I was telling Coach Bonilla in the post-game interview. It's what's happened to Tucson. Everybody's gone outward instead of staying in town to play football. They're in the east side or they're up northwest by Oro Valley, and so it's just kind of what has happened with football overall. So talk about the Wilcox game real quick.
Dude, that Wilcox game went down to it too. 41-20 over Tanque Verde.
Yeah, handled their business. Mr. Ward, he was tearing it up. Had a lot of good stats. Didn't get the exact numbers, but he came out in the second half and just blew it up.
And then Benson, we almost covered that game, 63-0 over Santa Rita Eagles. A huge blow. It was just a night of blowouts. There wasn't any close games except for ALA versus Paradise Valley that I covered on Thursday. You and I got to see a little bit of. 8-man football is a lot of fun to watch, I'll tell you that. Big play after big play. I mean, it's fun.
Big shooters.
And then you got Bisbee Pumas, 47 over Palo Verde Titans, 20. We did Douglas Bulldogs, 50 over the Choya Chargers, 14. I mean, blowout after blowout, and then
it's a great week for Southern Arizona football for sure. Excuse me.
I mean, all the teams won, so that was a lot of fun to see. My phone is going crazy now.
No, you're good. So let's go into talking a little bit about what we have Coach Thomas and Lujan here for, to talk a little bit about what did practice look like for fall break this week, and how was it planned to have a bye during fall, or just the way it landed for the?
It happened for us last couple of years. Of course, the AIA and the school districts, they don't link up and say, hey, let's do your fall break and bye week. I believe Desert View was on fall break this week. We went to watch their game last night. I saw on their marquee it said they were on fall break, so it just worked out for us. For the varsity. I think we would have been ready to rock and roll. What it would hurt is our lower levels, because all the parents want to go on vacations during fall break, and it's kind of one of those things when you get in high school, man. You don't, if you're serious about it, you don't have vacations. You don't go on fall breaks. I know they feel like that's an opportunity to do it. So our lower level numbers were a little bit low, but our varsity guys, our guys, they were there. What I like about fall break and the bye week come at the same time is obviously now the kids can kind of get a mental break as well as that physical break. We didn't do a lot of hitting. We still conditioned. It allows us the opportunity to step back a little bit, go back to the fundamentals and things like that. And then we were able to focus on us. Monday, we focused on us. We were able to just think about the things that we need to do better. We didn't have to worry about there's a view of the team coming the following week. Tuesday, we were able to focus on us a little bit more. So, you get to dial off the hitting a little bit.
Sure.
Our athletic trainer, Jeff, was there all week with us Monday through Thursday, so kids can go do rehab and things like that. We were able to get a film session in. We were able to get a couple lifting sessions in, which was nice with the whole crew, over fall break. So it was good. It was nice to kind of, going into it, of course, being 5-1, going into the fall break and the bye week, was nice. They have us ranked 10th in the state right now, which is, where we're at. Of course, you're in the top 16, so anywhere you can sit in the top 16, you're fine with that.
Top notch.
You want to make sure that you get better, right?
Sure,
you want to keep
course.
winning games. So, but the kids, of course, you want to come in. If you do it right, the fall break and bye week, or your bye week, if you do it right, it's real good. Some coaches give too much time off, I think, and then they try to come back the next week and get with it. Some coach will figure, well, let me just hit them this week, because we don't have a game, but then that impacts the next week. So it's a nice opportunity to take a break, dial things back a little bit, but still keep mentally, dialing on the things that you need to do. So it was a good week. And if you don't come out of a bye week healthy, you have a problem.
Big time.
I don't, and me, I don't like going to the ground. We like to keep our guys healthy. We don't like, so and this time in the year, it's not about necessarily who has the best team, but it's about what coach can keep their kids healthy.
Absolutely.
Well, we're seeing that.
Practice isn't the thing.
Absolutely.
You can't. That frustrates me.
I know. I remember that. Trust me. That's one of those things I always remember. It was like, you don't want to go to the ground. You don't have to tackle to the ground these days. And with the way that the game has gone and the way it's shifted and changed with so many, it's, the game is sped up. The game is faster and more explosive. And the kids are more explosive in their weight room. And when it transfers over to the field, that's when it's dangerous.
That's one of the weight room guys right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this guy's probably got some serious
kingpin.
numbers in there too. So, preparation for Desert View coming into homecoming. What's your advice, Coach Thomas, that you tell? You're probably gonna say something to the kids on Monday, and you'll be in the hallways a lot with your position. You'll just be constantly monitoring, but talk about what you talk about. Obviously, distractions, but what other preparations do you have for them going into homecoming week?
And homecoming, it's a big week for any school, any program. You have alumni coming back. Some people are doing their reunions. You have all the theme days during the week. So the school pride is up.
Sure.
Now, if you use it in the right way and you use it in the right direction, you can still keep the kids focused and locked in. Then it's good. I think it adds fuel to the fire when you go in and you on Friday, you want to be able to put on a show in front of the crowd. But we'll still tell our guys, understand, why we're here. Understand what the job is. It's your classmates are excited, about the themes and the game, and people are coming in. But at the end of the day, you got to get out there and you got to produce. So and you can enjoy the week, but you got to stay locked in. There might be some festivities that other friends or whatever might be partaking in, but understand, you got a football game on Friday. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And those are things that we've been doing anyway, having them locked in. Even on our bye week, we had them locked in on what we had to do. So I think the crew that we have, they're going to be okay with, being able to handle the festivities that they have during the week. School pride is a great thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But just understanding that at the end of the day, all this stuff happens, and then Friday, you got all eyes on you. And you want to represent, and you want Sierra Vista to be proud of what you're doing and the product you put on the field. And at the end of the day, you're putting on a show, and we feel like we're ready to do that.
Absolutely. So, Lujan, let's talk about a little bit of so far how the season's gone. Everybody again, Michael Lujan, junior running back for Buena Varsity. Let's talk about your overall performance so far, and talk about what your goals are the rest of the season.
Yeah, I've heard the season going good so far. Just keep producing for the team. Try to keep the offense moving. But my goal every game is always get at least 100 yards plus. Or just anything to help contribute to the team that could come either critical first downs that are needed, buying time for Nash in the pocket, for pass blocking, anything, even being used on defense if I needed to, if our linebackers need a break. But overall, I feel like the season's going good, barely halfway, but the next 4 games are critical, critical games that we need to win. So I'm just going to step up my game, either whether pass blocking, catching the ball, or running. So
yeah. So me and John have been talking and hyping you up in our games, and we cannot believe the strength this young man has in his legs.
Both running backs.
Oh yeah,
But,
But we just see more of the load come from Michael, and seeing him just tear through linebackers and DBs and safeties. He's got like 3 guys on his back, and he's just rolling.
Now, Michael,
an extra 2 to 3 yards.
Is it true that you could run under this table full speed? You are the lowest of the ground runner. I am very impressed. I'm not making fun of you at all. I'm like, when you're talking leverage in football, when you're talking about getting under guys and you're using your legs and your squatting ability, when I see you hitting dudes, you're at an up angle, and that's what I'm noticing from the sideline. I really appreciate that. How did you learn how to do that?
My main thing. I had 2 brothers that played for Buena too, and
I coached them, by the way. Shocker.
Yeah, both of them helping me out. My uncle too, my name is Sergio. He's been helping me out a lot. So, I was like over the weekend, even yesterday. I went yesterday to field my brother, and he's been always telling me, you gotta stay low, because I think one time I got smacked pretty good because I was way too high. And he's like, see, that's what happens. So he's been telling me, he's been training me up.
Football's a game of leverage. We had a defensive tackle that was probably 5'8" when I played in high school. He was Samoan. Him and his sister were they weren't tall, but they were thick and muscular, and man, he was the monster. I mean, he was a short dude, but he plowed gigantic guys because he had that leverage. And when I'm watching this young man, I'm thinking next level. I'm like, I'm looking Division I. That's what the exciting thing about you is, that when you watch running backs in the next level, you're not seeing guys that naturally run at a lower level. Their pad level's almost always up high, and the ball is, kind of out here, whereas you kind of take that and you run like a fullback, even though you're kind of a one-cut guy.
He's a true fullback.
He reminds me of Terrell Davis, a one-cut running back, but he's powerful like a fullback.
That's true. He does do a lot of one jab. Yeah. You see that first jab, and then you're up. Yeah. And that's all you need sometimes. Your linemen have been doing a great job of opening holes for you guys this year. So.
And what do you do for balance training? Are you training for balance? Or are you standing on a medicine ball and people are throwing stuff at you, or how are you doing this?
Yeah, the little half medicine balls, do like a bunch of ankle stability, like that, because I feel like it translates to the field pretty well. Because if you're falling or whatever, you gotta stay up, or always falling forward, But yeah, I do a lot of balance training.
They said about Barry Sanders, he could take his foot and nearly turn it all the way around. That's how much flexibility he had in his ankles. You think about that when you're talking about the next level. You're doing a great job. We think of the entire team as an absolute blessing. We thank you guys so much for fighting so hard. I know we got the truck ready, but I'm pretty sure they can't.
Like a good old-fashioned Peterbilt rolling into town.
Hey man, it's Sierra Vista. There could be, they could be on their way out to Tombstone with some rodeo stuff. Well, let's cover the rest. I didn't get past Douglas. There was St. David, 50-6 over Fort Thomas Apaches. Tombstone, of course, 39. That was 39-0 over the Catalina Trojans. I thought it was 38 though.
No, they got the extra point.
Okay. Okay. So it was 39-0. I'm not going to fight about that. And then ALA, another great game.
Yeah, they came back from 16 points down.
Dude, they started off in
turnaround. Coach Kraus is doing some awesome stuff.
And that 8-man football with a narrow field, it's a totally different way of looking at it. I honestly think that it might be a good way of training running backs and receivers, almost like sevens. That 8-man football, it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we'll move past that.
One more quick question for Michael here. What are your goals for Desert View?
I say stats-wise?
Stats. Yeah, of course. It's all about that, right? At this level, junior and senior year.
Yeah, like I said, my goal is always at least 100 plus, at least a touchdown, you know. But yeah,
Get those short yardage plays,
short yardage plays,
3rd and 2s, the 3rd 3s.
Those are the important ones,
those.
though. How many times are you stuck on 3rd and 2, 4th and 2, and you see even in the NFL these guys aren't punching it in. They're not able to make it. You're seeing a lot of goal line stands, I feel like, these days. Goal line defense is like taking over. Anyway, so you want to move on to college football? We'll talk a little bit of all of our sports.
Well, this guy over here, I'll go ahead and go with him first. He
Yeah.
said they got a big game this evening.
So who's that, the
7 o'clock.
Ducks?
The Ducks and the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Oh my gosh, number 2 versus number 3.
70,000 irate Duck fans are going to be going after these Buckeyes.
Yeah, and that's a tight spread there. They're only picked. They've got Ohio State by 3, so that's an impressive one. And looks like it's going to be a low scoring game, at least as far as the projections go. So I don't know. What do you think, Coach? What do you think that score is going to look like?
Well, I mean, you got 2 explosive offenses, and at any point in time, you know, points can be scored. I think whoever turns the ball over the least, you know, that's just another possession you have in your belt. You know, which coach is gonna settle for the field goal or go for it on 4th down, and you know, if you go for it on 4th down and get it, you're a genius. You go for it on 4th and you don't get it, and that can come back and kick you. You know, but which coach is going to be able to take points? You know, whenever you can.
Yeah.
Of course, going for the Ducks. My son Jaden Thomas likes Ohio. We're actually going to try to go to that game, but you know, I went to Scout Desert View. You know, not live past them, so I went to that game last night. But you know, I mean, the Ducks have the tools. You know, they got the guys in. You know, they're working hard. You know, they at first a couple games I watched them play. I was like, okay, what are they going to do? And you know, but they're explosive. You know, I mean,
They've got to be the fastest team.
They're going to go fast.
Always.
I mean, they got the shifty receivers. You know, Dylan Gabriel, he's going to sling it out there. You know, they got the backs. They got receivers. You know, whose defense is going to create a turnover?
That's
You know.
yeah, exactly.
And, but it should be fun. It should be good. You know, regardless, it's going to be a battle. Just hope my guys come out on top.
Nice, it'll be fun. So, well, I'm gonna go with the Ducks on this upset. I want to see it happen, just because all of the new teams that have transferred from the Pac-12 are just destroying people.
Yeah.
I mean, look
I
at
love
ASU
it.
last night.
last night.
They get shifted in.
Scatterboo is just tearing it up.
Nobody had any respect for the Pac-12 until they all had to play in other conferences, and they're just beating up on all of them.
Well, you got to step up.
Well, the thing I have always thought was that since they're a West Coast team, a lot of people on the East Coast don't ever get to see those West Coast teams. Like when Washington won the national championship in '91, they shared it with Miami. I mean, it was pretty clear to me that Washington squad was top notch. Like their whole defense went to the pros.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll move on. So you're not gonna like this. I'm a Husky fan.
There you go.
I know. I know this guy's like, punch me.
They got their hands full today.
I actually picked Iowa in this one. Like I'm a Husky fan, but Iowa's defense is the real deal.
Always.
They got like these 2 gigantic tight ends that might as well just be picking people up and body slamming them. You know, George Kittling dudes all over the field. I love watching Iowa football. Okay, and NBA's starting up too. It's still preseason, but that's coming right around the corner. All the 9 a.m. games. So we got Wisconsin-Rutgers. That could be a good game. Rutgers beat Washington, so...
It's not saying too much, but
Oh!
However, Wisconsin's struggling at the quarterback position.
Yeah, they lost their quarterback. That's
It's
unfortunate.
they've been using a backup, so...
Clemson ranked number 10 going against Wake Forest. That's going to be a blowout. Army versus UAB. Who knows about that one? Alabama, South Carolina. Alabama's now ranked number 7 after losing to Vandy. Yeah, losing that Vandy game, like, it goes to
was
show
amazing
any
to watch.
given Sunday, any given Saturday, any given Friday, you can take out a Titan if you play tight football. And they made a turnover. They had a pick 6 in the very first quarter on that second possession. I mean, that game was in Vandy's hands, and they just never let go. Alabama did their very best to crack them, and they just couldn't do it.
Nope. And hats off to Pavia. I mean, that kid is transferred around. He started at New Mexico Military
Oh,
Institute.
my gosh.
He started at NIMI. and then he moved into New Mexico State and transferred there after his JUCO years were done. Won a national title at the JUCO level, and then just to see him to be where he's at. It's special to see.
Imagine a world where a lot of players that get stuck behind a starting quarterback, or maybe whatever the situation is, they don't get to play, but they get to transfer to another school and maybe get a shot there. That's what I like about what's happening. I mean, everybody has a lot of negative things to say, but if you're looking for playing time and someone's got a football field and they want you to play, you can get on the football field now. Whereas like recruiting, you had to go through the whole process of like getting that scholarship, getting everything lined up, and now it's Wild West. I think things are going to get better, and I hope they do.
Well, they already tightened up the transfer portal.
Yeah, they
just came out with a decision this week. They're shortening the window to 30 days.
So
from 45 or something.
How many offers do you have, or do you have offers?
No, I don't have any offers.
Okay.
No.
What's your favorite team?
Texas.
Thank you. I was like, and then we lead into the game of the day. Thank goodness someone brought it in.
Got this guy. All right, we're gonna have him
talk
co-host.
about the Red River rivalry, John. The classic David versus Goliath. Sometimes, whatever your case may be, Clash of the Titans. It always is a game.
Right.
What's the spread showing so far?
I'm trying to find it on here.
It's probably top of the heap because it's
But is it
usually
what time is the
It's
game?
usually a 9:00 game.
Where is it?
It's right there.
Oh, Texas versus Oklahoma. Yep, 17-point spread.
Whoa.
Predicted for 50 points, so kind of a mid-scoring game, 25 points
Oklahoma's been
apiece.
struggling to score a little bit.
I think Texas will smoke them. I don't think it's even going to be close. I know it's a big old rivalry, but I think it's going to be at least a 15-point
know what
game.
happens.
No, that's right.
It's so cool to see.
But that
You have to see
Texas team.
You have to see the highway going down from Norman to down into the Cotton Bowl. Like,
Yeah.
those people are throwing stuff at each other while they're driving 70 miles an hour.
Oh
to
my
each other.
gosh.
I've heard some stories, man. I'm just like, this is insane.
That's Texas. I don't know. I
We
don't
know,
if I
we know
can
for
survive
sure our
there.
kickers coach is going for the Sooners.
All
He's
right.
a Sooner. That's where he went gotten his dentist degree. And all his dental stuff that he got trained for was all there. So
Here's a couple more big games. So we got Cal versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh ranked number 22. We're looking at
Cal just beat Miami.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
It's
going to
gonna
be a
be-
tight game.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah, Penn State versus USC. So that looks like it's going to be. You don't think that's going to be close? I think that
I think USC's been struggling. Yeah,
they have, but I don't see a whole lot of Penn State offense. I can't think of anybody on that offense that kind of. They always have killer linebackers going back. Going all the way back to the beginning of football.
LeVar
1903.
Harrington, too.
Dude, yeah,
Back in those
LeVar.
days.
Dude, you can name just about half the linebackers in the NFL. They all came from Penn State. Okay, Purdue, Illinois. That looks like Illinois. That probably won't be a very good game. Let's see, BYU and Arizona. Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh,
Yes.
that's going to be the game.
They are struggling defensively in the secondary.
Yeah.
We got crucial injuries at a couple weeks ago at the Utah game.
Mm-hmm.
We lost Stooks. Stooks blew his ACL, so he's done. He's going to try and get a medical red shirt so he can get another year.
He'll get that for sure.
So, and then
Safety came up
Gunnar
last week.
Maldonado. So had something happen in the Texas Tech game. So
Injuries.
Gunner's a local kid from Chandler, so he'll bounce back. I mean, he'll listen to his trainers and do what he has to do to, get himself healthy for the team. But they're going to be, it's just what Coach Takina's got good setup in the defensive secondary. It's just the next man's up, and he says, "Look, here's your shot. Let's
What do
go."
you think of BYU? But they're ranked number 14.
But
Arizona.
That's an NFL team. Let's be honest, John. That was a bunch of 25 and 26-year-olds.
Yeah. They're adults. Those are grown men.
But
Yeah.
still,
Yeah, that guy's had a job for 6 years and he's
they've-
got 7 kids.
they've exactly. They've turned things around. I mean, they've got some good power in their offense. So I don't know. I mean, it could go back and forth. We have to see what our defense does.
Yeah.
Our offense is no problem. They're going to bracket T-Mac. That's what everybody's been doing all year since he came into and just had an incredible freshman year. Everybody's like, shut that guy
He's a
down.
mismatch. Like, that guy is a true mismatch. That's the fun thing
I'll be
about
surprised
college
if
football.
he stays through his junior year.
Well, he doesn't have the speed of Randy Moss, but he has that the radius, the catch radius. He's a tall dude that can catch way low, way high. I mean, I love watching him play. Georgia versus Mississippi State. I'm just going over the top. I know it's not going to be a
Georgia
good
will be done with them at halftime.
Yeah. Florida versus Tennessee. That's a little bit closer, but that's actually, I'll bet that will be a closer game than you
They call
expect.
the best or the biggest cocktail party in the United States. That's what they used to call it, because it was such a good rivalry.
Well,
It's kind of gotten lopsided.
That sounds like an
these last few
insult
years,
to me, but okay. Oregon State versus Nevada. You know, I like those Oregon. I like all those West Coast schools. I'm always rooting for Pac-10, Pac-12 schools. I always say Pac-10, by the way, because I'm old.
we all know what it really is.
So we got Iowa State versus West Virginia, Kansas State versus Colorado later on. Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. In baseball, we've got Detroit versus the Guardians, Cleveland. Oh gosh, I don't even recognize these teams
That's
anymore.
the game 5 of the ALDS.
Okay. And then on to the NFL tomorrow. Okay, what's your favorite team, Coach?
Unfortunately, I hate to say right now, the Tennessee Titans.
Come on, they've got. I liked their coach. I loved Vrabel. I really wish he hadn't left or been
They
fired.
just weren't, they're frustrating. So, but I go for the Cardinals if they're not playing Tennessee.
Okay. So that's my situation. I'm a Chiefs fan, but I love the Seahawks. So everybody hates me. gotta make sure everybody wants to throw something at me by the end. Okay, tell me what's up.
Your pro team.
Yeah, what's your favorite team?
I'm a Cowboys fan, guys.
I've seen
All
stars
right.
around the family. So
That's okay. That's
Let's say
okay.
you get some hardcore Cowboy fans within the family.
He plays like Ezekiel Elliott. He runs like a Zeke, man.
Zeke.
Zeke is,
See?
yeah, better attitude.
Better attitude.
Thank God.
Yes, very much so. Take notes, Zeke, if you're watching our show.
Yeah.
Now there's a 6 a.m. show. There's a 6 a.m.
Oh, we
football
got a game in London again, or somewhere over in Germany.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Jags versus the Bears. I'm not in love with that game. I might watch it
I'm
because
going with the Bears on that.
I've got it. I've
sorry.
taken the Jags every week, and I've been punished for it. And I feel like they got to win at some point, but I'm going to take the Bears.
Okay, good.
I'm not
strategy.
crazy. I love them, but not this week. We got the Buccaneers and Saints. That's going to be a big game.
That's my team, of course.
Mhm.
So we're hot and cold. We come out with injuries. We come out with we'll have to see what happens if everybody stays healthy during the game and there's a good cohesion with the receivers and Baker. We're lights out if we can get a rhythm going.
The Buccaneers have had the most underrated.
We got that wonderful. Appreciate it. Running back from Oregon, Bucky Irvin.
Yeah.
He's done a wonderful job coming in as a rookie.
Vita
so far.
Vea is my favorite player on that Buccaneers team. That
Huskies.
defensive tackle might as well be playing linebacker. He's so fun to watch.
And he's losing weight, and they've been working with him on
Dude,
that. And
they're
he's
moving
getting
him
better.
all over the place. He's a fun player to watch.
The Cardinals have this week.
I'm going to pick the Saints in this one.
That's fine. You would.
You got to pick it all?
I got Bucks.
All
Okay,
right,
got
thanks,
Buccaneers.
Luan. There we go.
How about you, Coach?
I'm still mad that the Titans let Derrick Henry go. So
Yeah, it's heartbroken,
And then you
man.
watch him run for a 70-yard touchdown.
Oh,
First
yeah.
play.
I'm like, man, like that's what you guys let go. So at the end of the day, if it's not my team, I'd like to see a good football game.
Oh, yeah. That's a 1
I don't
point
know.
spread.
Did you see earlier this week they did how they dress up some of the old players
Mhm.
and they make them look like normal folks, and so they did this.
Put
thing.
like a weird nose on him
Yeah.
and funky
So
hair.
they did this thing with Baker this week.
Yeah.
And they called him Gus Swayze or something like that.
Stupid.
And he shows up
So stupid.
shows up for these kids, like a kids day or some kind of day where they get to meet the Bucks players. It's like Mike Evans and
Mhm.
the new guy from Washington and
Polk.
a receiver.
The other one. Yeah, Polk.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
So
McMillan.
Baker gets the ball and he just starts winging it. I mean, knocks McMillan almost on the ground. And there's like, he's got a mic on. He goes, "Hey, someone needs to come and talk to this the quarterback, he's got a decent arm. You might have to put him on the practice squad. He's just freaking everybody out, and he's got this big old giant knee brace over the pants, just looking
They
like.
did that with Jared Goff, and they did that with Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
that's
it's
so
been fun
much.
to see that.
I love seeing that.
That was a
That's
lot of fun
fun.
to see.
Nobody recognizes half those quarterbacks anyway. That's a fun thing. You recognize Mahomes, but you're not going to recognize maybe Mayfield.
You really have to doctor that guy up. He's got such a unique look.
Yeah.
Patrick does.
Arizona Cardinals, Green Bay Packers. Okay, I'm taking the Cardinals in this one.
Where's the game at?
It's in Green Bay. Yeah, I
In
know, right?
Lambeau.
And they're projected as a 5-point winner over the Cardinals. So
Depends on what kind of Jordan Love comes out, right?
I actually would take Kyler Murray over Jordan Love. I mean, he's got the
really
weapons.
Healthy, and he looks good. He's explosive right now.
So yeah, if he's six, Kyler Murray, like you can watch him one week and he looks like an NFL quarterback. You watch him another week and he's making like college or high school mistakes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's which one are you going to get? You know, but when the Cardinals are on fire and they're feeling good about themselves, they play well. It's kind of tough for anybody to go into Green Bay and play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jordan Love, he's doing pretty good. So it should be, hopefully the Cardinals win.
Shut out the Niners last week in the second half.
Dude.
Shut them out and
Well,
they won.
The Cardinals beat the Niners, didn't they?
Yeah, they shut them out and ended up beating them by 1. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm telling you, the Cardinals I think that they have a playoff shot, actually. But that's a really strong conference, or a strong division. Yeah, division. I mean, you're going against the Seahawks, who are killers. You're talking 49ers. Nobody in that division's a cupcake. You got an injured Rams team.
Yeah, as I say, the Rams are just so beat up.
But,
early.
yeah. I
What
guess,
do you think about that?
Yeah, who do you got?
I got Cardinals.
Nice.
Marvin Harrison Jr. out there, you know.
Dude, he's
My
catching
Buckeye
everything.
over there.
There we go.
Yeah, Harrison.
Indy versus Tennessee. All right. That's actually...
Go here first with that.
Okay.
Well,
It looks like
I
it's...
think we've only won one game so far.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice to get a win. I think that's just, you know, there's some games they're struggling with. This is one I think they can get.
Mhm. Absolutely, versus the Colts.
Yeah.
I'm taking Tennessee.
You got Joe Flacco, Grandpa.
Oh, dude, that's actually now I like Flacco. Grandpa Flacco plays some ball,
Grandpa
man.
Joe's coming back. He's got a good little stint
Dude,
going.
he still has a pretty strong arm, and being that he can manage a game, that's what you need in the NFL. Is you need a guy that knows how to hand off the ball, knows where to go. You don't need someone that can throw the ball 100 yards, but it really helps, you know, being able to hit a guy at 60 yards through the air. But even if Flacco can't do it, you see in the NFL there's a history of quarterbacks with not the strongest arms being great I don't think Brady ever had that great of an arm, if we're being honest. He had a good arm, but he grew that arm. It wasn't that strong when he started.
And if you think about it too, it's like you look at, you know, there might be a decent quarterback, but if his guys don't believe in him,
True.
there won't be many plays made.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, you know, you at the end of the day, you know, it's 4th and 2, and you got to throw the ball. You want the ball in Brady's hands.
True.
You want the ball in Mahomes' hands. You know, you want those guys that are playmakers for you. And that's what, you know, I think in the NFL, if you don't believe in your quarterback, it's going to be really tough.
It's a different thing. It's like being a manager. It's like being an assistant manager in a corporate situation. I know it sounds stupid, but they're the ones that are like they're the leaders on the field. And when you're in an office or in a building, you guys are doing work, that's the guy that's making all the choices on the field. And that's what I love about him. Like, I mean, you get a good quarterback with a good, smart head. I mean, you see all the dudes with big arms that have been drafted in the first round that couldn't do anything.
Look at Captain Kirk.
Dude,
tearing it up in Atlanta.
Dude, Purdy doesn't have a great arm. That guy's accurate and he's smart. So,
he's from Arizona too.
And Andy's an Arizona guy.
Played at Gilbert High School.
I didn't know that.
Browns versus Eagles. Wow, that does not look like that great of a game.
It's going to be lopsided. We're going with the Eagles on that one for sure. Eagles. AJ's back, so we'll have to see what he's going to be able to do.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. We got Texans and Patriots.
Texans.
I think we have to take the Texans in this. Yeah, but they're going to be starting Drake May for the first time. I wouldn't do it if I were them. They're going to get him killed. That
That's
offensive
gonna
line is the worst
destroy.
in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that watches a lot of Pro Football Focus, so these guys have all the stats on it. That offensive line is number 32 out of 32. It's not good. Yeah. So Commanders and Ravens, that should be a running game. That's the game I want to watch. And I hate the Ravens. I want to.
I'm going Ravens.
Yeah, they're so
They just-
good.
they can finish when they need to at the end.
That's
I
a
think it's a ball.
7-point spread.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'll take the command. Well, I guess we're not playing the spread though. But Commanders' running game is really tough though too. I'll take the Washington Commanders just to be different. But like
Mr. Heisman.
to me, that's
Daniels is not doing a heck of a rookie, having a rookie season.
does that guy even look like
Doesn't
a rookie?
look like a rookie.
He looks like a 7-year pro with
Looks
fresh
weathered.
legs.
Looks weathered for sure.
LA versus the Broncos.
L.A. Chargers.
Yes, LA Chargers.
You gotta remember, we got two L.A.